Hello, my name is Jillian Young with PC3 Media, and today I am joined by the 2024 Fair Queen, Gwen. Say hello.
Hello.
I'm so excited that you could come and join me for this interview today. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about how you got to where you are today and all the fun aspects of it. So let's get started. So what was the whole process like the pageant process, and even just getting to, compete for the title? What did you have to do?
So getting to compete, so I did 4-H, I did the Horse and Pony Project, so I kind of knew about the pageant a little bit while I was in 4-H, and then typically it's like senior year, your last year of 4-H, you're able to do the pageant. So one of my friends, we decided that we wanted to do it, and so over the summer, I believe it's like June and July, once a week, we meet with all the girls that are going to be doing the pageant. It's usually about 10 to like 18 girls, somewhere around that number. And so we meet and we just talk about like what's going to happen, how to prepare for our interviews, what to do for our speeches, and like makeup tips and hair tips. And honestly, we just have a really good time. It's about meeting new people and learning a bunch of new skills.
So it's more, so there's a lot that goes, before the actual pageant. So it's not just one day.
Yeah.
It's a whole process.
And I feel like that's important. You can really see who's able to be there with all the girls throughout the summer, and you can really see that on stage of pageant night.
And you guys can create that bond too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so special. Okay, so I want to know what was going through your head when you won. Because I heard somewhere that this was the most girls who've competed in many years. And so I'm sure that was a lot of like anxiety and just like, oh no, can I do it? Like, what went through your head when you were like, wow, I just won Miss Porter County?
So at first when they were announcing all the other winners and there was the first runner-up and I didn't hear my name yet, I was like, oh, did I not place at all? And then I looked at one of the judges and I could see that they were like smiling and I was like, oh, and then they called my name and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was so ecstatic. And then a big thought in my head, because this is my third year doing this pageant, so I've done it 3 summers in a row, and in my head I was like, okay, this is the last pageant that I'm doing, and I remember one of my first thoughts was like, I get to go to the Indiana State Fair pageant and compete. That was like one of my first thoughts, and I was so excited. I was like, oh, my pageants are done, I get another one.
So speaking of Indiana State Fair, I know you went and you visited and you got to kind of see it all. What differences did you notice between the State Fair and the Porter County Fair?
The biggest difference is just the space. There's so much to visit. I felt like I was constantly walking, and every time I was walking, I was seeing something new. They have a lot of different activities going on, but I will say Porter County Fair definitely has the best fair food. I was missing some of my favorites.
So I know they have their pageant coming up too for the new Miss Indiana State Fair. How do you feel about that? I mean,
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because it's new and
different.
it's over 3 days, a whole weekend. So I'm like, that's definitely a little bit new. But when I was visiting Indiana State Fair, I met some of the other queens that are there. So I'm excited to spend like a whole weekend with them.
And that had to be super special, just like meeting all the other winners of the year and like spending the day with them. Like, that's just awesome.
One of my favorite things about that day is we were walking around and throughout the fair you could just see sparkly crowns everywhere. I was like, that's such a fun day.
Like, this is so cool. I love that. Okay, I just have a few more questions for you. I want to know your favorite memory from the Porter County Fair this year. I mean, you got to reign, you got to be there all 10 days, and you got to do a lot of cool things. So what was your favorite part of it?
I think my favorite part of it would have to be being at the livestock auction. A lot of people were like, oh, you're here all night. It wasn't super late, I think maybe midnight, but it was very fun getting to see everyone show off their animals. My favorite part is like when some people will dress up their animals and congratulating everyone for selling them. And it was just a really fun night. You get to see all the different animals all at once and seeing the community come together and bidding on all the 4-H'ers' hard work.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in for this interview today. I loved talking to you and hearing all about it. And best of luck with the Indiana State Fair Queen.
Thank you.
We're rooting for you at PC3.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.